Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahweh Shai, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahweh Shai, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, rule well over the flock. Shalom and salutation to you brothers out here pushing words of truth and sincerity. It's going to be a quick video, Lord willing, just dealing with Dave Chappelle's comments a while back and Kanye.
He calls himself the artist because that's what they call us in our contracts. Oh, these contracts are crazy. You should hear the terminology they say in these contracts. To use your name and likeness in perpetuity throughout the universe. Who the could possibly know what that means? Nobody does. It's so complicated, in fact, that when you're a kid like me, you have to hire somebody to tell you what that means. And you sit down at a table and you do the contract game. And that's how I got with Comedy Central. I signed the contract. But I signed the contract the way that a 28-year-old expectant father that was broke signs a contract. I was desperate. I needed a way out, and it wasn't good money, and it wasn't good circumstances, but what else am I going to do, I said. And all these white people sitting at that table told me, trust us, Dave, it's a good contract. And I looked around the table, and they all seemed to agree it was a good contract. But what if it was like that game of three-card Monte? What if they were all friends and I didn't know it?
That is exactly what Kanye is talking about, them trying to control us.
And the bag of money was Iceberg's money in the first place. What was I talking about?
That I'm Jew, then they would see what I'm saying in a different way. They would hear it in a different way. But see, the people, you saying you're Jewish, no, I'm Jew, not Jewish. Jewish means like that of a Jew. I'm saying I'm Jew. You're a Jew. Blood of Christ. That Orthodox Christian. Right. But are you a follower of the philosophy of the Black Hebrew Israelites? Because that's where the idea comes from. Not all of.
And by the way, that man interviews thousands of people all over the world. Not one time did he try to interview a so-called, according to them, Black Hebrew Israelite, squinting his eyes as if he got pain in his eyes just to say it. Psalms 19:11, moreover by them is thy reward warned, is thy servant warned, and in keeping of them there is great reward. And that's keeping of the laws, statutes, and commandments of the scriptures. And furthermore, when you're dealing with the law, when you're dealing with perfect understanding of the scriptures, you know that it's concerning a certain people, Israel. It's not concerning everybody. So that contract signed by other nations and heathen nations contracts has nothing to do with the law. The fact that these people are calling themselves Jewish means that they believe that everyone outside of their circle is a goyim, aka a heathen. And according to the scriptures and according to the Torah, you can treat your brothers better than you treat the rest of the nations. That's basics to Israelite 101. And the reason why the Amalek, who are the so-called Jews today, do so well is not because they're keeping the law fully themselves. They break the law daily. But it's because they have learned how to keep down the rest of the nations through contractuals, through working together, managing, scheming together, plotting together for one purpose against the rest of these nations. When you go back into the history, you can watch a movie from the, I think, 1940s called The History or the Lord Rothschilds or the Rothschild family. It's a black and white film on the Rothschild and how they came to power. Or you can just watch a documentary. And I would suggest you go to odyssey.com and type in Rothschild documentary. You'll see it was a father who playing Meyer Amschel Bauer meaning servant, changed his name to Rothschild, Red Shield in German. And he told his 5 sons to go and learn finance. He taught them finance and banking, and he sent them to 5 different major hubs of finance in Europe. and then orchestrated and created devised a plan to overrule governments and overrule societies by way of money and the manipulation of money, the manipulation of currency, scams, inside tricks and schemes and information, and he was able to do that. To this day, the world governments, the finances of the world government, whether you're dealing with the IMF, World Financial, whatever it's called, but all centralized banks are part of the Rothschild organizations. If you want more of this, type in complete list of Rothschild owned and controlled banks. This was by the brother Yazian, GMS New York. Right? An increasing number of people are waking up to the fact that 99% of the Earth's population is controlled by a 1% elite. But did you know that one family, the Rothschilds, rule everything, even that elite 1%? Here are all their banks. Okay? And I'm not a member, so it's blocking me out. But as you can see, there's nation after nation on here. So in conclusion, the reason why all of these things are happening is because Jake is finally waking up. When you come back to your nationality, you don't just come back to a color. Well, you leave a color for a heritage. You're leaving a color, black, for understanding. You're leaving a color for a doctrine, principles, laws, statutes, commandments. You're leaving a color for hope, salvation through Yahweh Shah. You're not just leaving a color. You're not just leaving a continent, African American, 2 continents. You're leaving a void, useless title given to you by your oppressors in picking up an entire heritage, navigated or written by your own people of times of old. That's what the word Hebrew Abar means. Hebrew Israelite, not black, because that's that color. Void of light has no significance whatsoever to identify our people. Some of the heathen nations are considered black, but it truly is Hebrew Israelites, which is our forefathers. It says, Psalms 119 and 98, thou through thy commandments hast made me wiser than mine enemies, for they are ever with me. I have more understanding than all my teachers, for thy testimonies are my meditation. I understand more than the ancients, because I keep thy precepts. Psalms 119, 104, through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way. And when you wake up to this truth, you begin to hate every false way, and you become wiser than your enemies. Call Haloyim Yahweh Shemi Shah. Shalom. Till next time. DT